Hi, this is Mr. Evans, and in this video I'll be providing an overview of the A-level Business Studies course. So having gone through the AS units, the A-level business course is much more focused on strategic decision making, and AQA tell us that the study of strategic decision making should build on the study of decision making in functional areas, which is basically what you did in AS. So this is a diagram that I used to represent the AS business course. We started off with what is business, just giving an overview. We then looked briefly at managers, leadership and decision making before we got into actually these different functional areas, the marketing, the operations, the finance and the people. And that was what the main focus was at AS. How do you actually run a business? How are decisions made in these separate departments? And how do these separate departments, when they're operating, affect each other? Now, when we're talking about strategic decision making, we're looking far more, we're going back now, and we're looking at more of the internal workings of the management of a business, strategic decision making. So strategy happens at the top of the business, and the strategy feeds down into these different functional areas. So we'll have a look at that in detail and how that happens throughout this A2 Business Studies course. So the 4 A-level units, there were 6 units at AS. The A-level course has got 4 units. The first one is analysing the strategic position. So where are we now? Where are we as a business at the moment? And then 3.8 is, right, well, this is where we are at the moment. How do we decide where we're going to go? And remember, a strategy is a plan to achieve your corporate objectives. So we've got our corporate objectives. 3.7, we know where we are now. 3.8, how are we going to get to where we want to be? What's our plan for getting there? And then the unit 3.9, strategic measures, how to actually pursue those strategies. So it's all very well having a plan, it's all very well having a strategic direction, but 3.9 we look, right, how do we actually achieve that plan? And then 3.10, we know where we are. We've picked a plan to achieve our objectives, and we've implemented those objectives. At some point, we're going to need to change strategy. Even the best strategy will eventually need to change as the external environment, as the internal nature of the business changes and evolves. We're going to need to change our strategy, and 3.10 looks at ways in which we can do that. So as you're going throughout this unit, you should think about these kind of bullet points, and these bullet points can help you with your evaluation on longer essays. So as you're looking at these different topics, you should be thinking about, okay, so what impact does technology have on strategic decision making? We're looking at corporate social responsibility, ethical, environmental issues. So how are they affecting strategic decisions that are undertaken at the top of the company? We're always going to have difficulty in forecasting future trends, So, this can form some evaluation, we've got all these projections about what's going to happen, but how accurate are our projections? We're going to look at the feasibility and risk of different strategic decisions, and we should also consider the impact of strategic decisions on stakeholders. Okay, just quickly going over this bit down here, topics lend themselves to study and engaging with the business world. So in other words, AQA want you to be looking at what's actually going on in the business environment around the world, keeping up with the news. Follow business development, think critically about contemporary issues in business. This is all saying you need to be up to date with what's going on in the news, in different industries, in different businesses, so you can bring that into your essays. Most of the assessment is based on real business situations, so when you're in the exam they're going to give you different business situations, and if you can drop in your own knowledge to your answers, it's going to help you achieve a really high grade. yeah, and gaining insight into different contexts. I'll have a look at that in a lot more detail in a section on the exams that you'll be doing on this course. So just quickly looking at the overview of how A-level business is assessed. You had two exams if you took the AS level. There's 3 papers for the for the A-level course, each worth an equal amount, but each one has a slightly different structure. So we've got some multiple choice questions, some short answer questions, and 2 essay questions, okay, with a selection of essay questions. No selection in paper 2, 3 compulsory data response questions. It's not quite 3 questions, it's split up into some shorter questions and some longer essay questions. And in paper 3, you're given one business context. As you go into the exam, you need to look at that business context, and then you've got 6 questions to answer on that business context. So it's a really interesting course. It's going to build on what you've learnt at AS, and good luck with your studies. Hopefully you'll find these videos helpful and supportive.